All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Team Wednesday trainings. We appreciate being part of First Team Real Estate and part of today's training. We got Jeremiah Seacrest here from the Huntington Beach offices and the operating manager from those offices. He's going to be talking about your sphere of influence and how to grow and operate with your sphere of influence. And Jeremiah, you're on.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Greg. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all, or at least good to see your names on the screen. Those of you that have your video on, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. It's hard to interact sometimes when it's just you talking to yourself on video. So those that have the video on, like Greg said earlier, truly appreciate that for the interactions. And we're going to get going. Let me share my screen here. Today, we're going to be talking about leveraging your SOI. When I've been thinking about this the last couple of weeks and putting this together, let me start my slideshow here, but just thinking about SOI and leveraging this and how do you get more business out of those people that already know you and trust you. And it just made me really think that all I ever want to teach on is building relationships and building deeper relationships with the people that you already know. So I'm going to cover a lot of stuff today. I'll provide these slides later. There's going to be just a lot of content, a lot of talking points, really. I'm going to walk through some examples of how to show you how to leverage KV Core for some automation and some different things. If anybody has any questions during this, please just either raise your hand on the Zoom or speak up, and we'll also get to questions at the end of this, of course. But let's just get started and go through. So really, let's just start with the basics of what is an SOI. I actually looked up the definition of SOI originally. It was used politically, so I had to change it back in the early or late 1800s. It was used about one nation influencing another nation and having political or persuasive influence over them. But in today's world, when we think about SOI or your sphere of influence, it's really a business model or strategy that focuses on attracting business to you. Right? I highlighted here the business to you opposed to pursuing business from strangers. I think everybody would like those come list me phone calls, right? So the person that knows you says, hey, how's it going? I want to sell my house, right? Those are always easier phone calls than cold calling. I know that we had a call hour last night, and one of our people on the call, Rashika, she was going through the phone book basically and making phone calls last night and asking people if they were interested in selling their house. That call is much more difficult, and most of us don't want to do that. We would really prefer to get the call coming to us, right? Opposed to pursuing business from a stranger. I've redefined SOI for real estate. I don't know if I'm the only one that's come up with this definition or not, but it basically is everyone that knows you. Your SOI in real estate is everyone that knows you. The beautiful part about living in Southern California is that there is a ton of people, and no matter where you go, there's prospects to be had. Whether you go to church, whether you go to Lions Club, whatever it is, everywhere you go, there's people all around us, and all of those people are prospects when we're in the real estate business. It's one of the reasons I love this business so much. There's an opportunity to help anybody and everybody around you. It's basically the larger your SOI is, it means the broader range of friends, acquaintances, and professionals that will contact you or think of you when it's time to buy or sell a property. And that's really the whole point of this, is get our SOI to be top of mind with them, so they're thinking of us when they're going to do something. Came across a graph, Dunbar's number. I don't know if any of you have been in the corporate world outside of real estate. Dunbar's number is an extremely popular model in saying, and a lot of companies have developed offices and so like won't have more than 150 people in an office because of this study and this information. But Dunbar's number is basically saying
Did it freeze? Jeremiah?
Yes, it froze.
Okay. Jeremiah, you're froze. We're going to call that the Dunbar effect. What's going on?
I'd send him a text, but my phone's charging. He probably wouldn't get it anyways.
He's coming back in. He just want to look.
I don't know what happened there.
Yep.
Can you guys hear me? Where did you lose me?
We call that the Dunbar effect.
Okay. Yeah, that is the Dunbar effect. Go back to this. I don't know what happened. I'm plugged into the landline too. Well, going back to the Dunbar, we can't have more than this saying that we can't have more than 150 relationships. As a real estate agent, I hope that you have more than 150 relationships. So I searched the internet and the internet didn't let me down. I found a study that debunked Dunbar's number, and it's a team of researchers, and this came from May of last year. So it's within the last year, but this new research group said their estimates, you can have as many as up to 520 meaningful relationships that you're able to engage with and socially maintain those relationships. So good news is Dunbar's number is not science per se, but you can have up to 520 relationships. And really, I think we should all focus on having 500 SOI contacts in our databases. And I'm going to get to a little bit of that later, but if you can have 500, I promise you, you'll sell a lot of real estate. Went back and looked at some NAR numbers as well. And where do most businesses come from? NAR just released a study recently on the 2021 member profile. This was just one section of about an 8-page study about us as agents and where our business comes from. If you see the bottom of this graph here, it is the percent of repeat business from past customers and the percent of business through referrals from past customers or past clients. All realtors combined, regardless of length in the industry, was about 34% of their business. Where we see really the successful agents that have been in the business for a long time, they put it here as 16 years or more. 64% of the seasoned agent population or the veteran agent population, 64% of their business comes from their past clients, repeat business and referral business. Now that's part of your SOI. Your past clients should be considered a part of your SOI. You should have, anytime I ever sold a house over the years, I became friends with those people that I was working with because we spend so much time with them, right? You get to know them on an intimate level. You get to know their financial situation because they're trying to buy a home. You know more about those people you're helping sell or buy a house with than probably their family members know about them, just from a financial, what their interests are and things like that. You get to know a lot of intimate information about people. So once you have a client, you should move that into your SOI bucket for sure as well, moving forward for the future. So when I think about SOI and I think about everything that's happening right now in a shifting market, I know that the phone calls are coming from the companies out there that generate leads. You guys have probably been thinking about calling Zillow again and seeing if you could buy a zip code or buy a fraction of a zip code. A lot of you have probably reached out to realtor.com to see if you could buy leads or any of these other lead sources. So if you are currently buying new leads now or considering buying new leads, I want you to really take a pause and think about that. And why not invest in the people that already know and trust you? So I'm gonna go through some of this and give you some ideas, some marketing ideas, and some strategies to really put money into. I know the lead generation business is going to be booming right now because the market has shifted, right? We've seen fewer sales, about 20% fewer sales in Orange County than we did at this time last year. Business is still really good, right? But as Stephen Thomas has said, you know, we were going 150 miles an hour down the freeway and we've slowed down to 65 miles an hour. We're going the speed limit now, right? But we were so used to going so fast, it feels like we're sitting still now. And I know that leads are extremely important to everybody and people are trying to figure out how to generate leads. I'm saying focus on the people that already know and trust you. Per that survey, that NAR survey, successful agents get 64% of their annual deals from their real estate sphere of influence. It's not 64% of their business from internet leads. Now, there's agents out there that do a lot of business from internet leads, certainly, but overall, on average, most people get repeat and referral business from their sphere of influence. question for everybody. If you've been in this business for more than a year or 2 years, this has probably happened to you. But how many people have had the disappointment of seeing one of your past clients list a home you sold with someone else? Right? How many people have gone through that? You see somebody else list your house that you sold and you can't figure out why they would call that person, right? But the interesting, from another NAR study, National Association of Realtors, fewer than 25% of home sellers use the agent that helped them buy their home. Fewer than 25%. It's a baffling number to me. I hope this isn't the case for the group of agents on this call and within our organization, because that is a really sad number. There was about 32,000 home sales in Orange County last year. And that means about 64,000 transactional sides, right? Because there's a seller and a buyer for every transaction. So about 64,000 transactional sides, and only less than 25% of any of those buy sides or sell sides were duplicated agents. Like, why aren't people calling you if you sold them the home 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or whatever it was? Why aren't they calling you? I want to really kind of make it clear that this won't happen to you, and it shouldn't happen to you if you follow up. Okay. Follow up is the key to our business, truly. Whether it's open house leads or if it's our SOI, past clients, whatever it is, follow up is instrumental in everything that we do. So really, kind of, where do we start? Sometimes we get overwhelmed by the amount of things that we need to do in this business. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible today and give you some really, some tasks that are achievable, that aren't going to overwhelm you. Okay. So where do we start? We start with writing down, organizing, and building your database. If you've done this already, congratulations. You're ahead of probably 90% of the agents out there. I find in management that I see a lot of agents that haven't taken the time to really just write down who's in your sphere of influence and organizing it and labeling it and putting it in your CRM. Really, because this is the foundation of our business, right, guys? And so here's some examples. If you don't know who would be considered a part of your SOI, this is just kind of a list to build from and really get you thinking about who can we put in this SOI bucket. So close friends and relatives, of course, people you stay connected with on social media. I hear some people say they have no friends, but they have 3,000 friends on Facebook. Follow up with those social media stuff. I have some thoughts on that we're going to get to later. Interesting stat that I saw while trying to put this stuff together. Only 5% of realtors in the country claimed real estate as their first profession. So nationwide, only 5% of agents said that real estate was their first career. That means a lot of you probably have former coworkers or in different industries that you worked with. So former coworkers is a really big one. And a lot of us probably don't stay in touch with those people, but it'd really be a good idea to put those people in that SOI bucket. Clients you met from past work experiences, another good one. Vendors. We give away millions and millions of dollars in referral business to vendors on a regular basis. I know over the years of my career, I've don't tell Gila. I know this is being recorded. Gila, I'm sorry. I've referred multiple vendors. But the vendors that we've referred to over the years, we've given them tons of business, and how much business have they given us in return, right? So they should be on your referral list for you getting business as well. Those painters, those contractors, the floor guys, whatever it is that you're doing, these people know people as well that own and sell houses, and they should be thinking of you also. If you have kids and you're involved in any of the youth sports or school activities, the parents of those kids on the teams or the social events that you do through the school, really good idea to be in touch with those people and add these people to your SOI. Acquaintances and social groups, if you do any social groups or, like the Elks Lodge, American Legion, any of that kind of stuff, add those people to your SOI. Of course, if you have a spouse, your spouse's friends, relatives, and that, I know I heavily relied on my wife's sphere of influence when I first got into this business. or when I first joined First Team in Huntington Beach back in 2008, I knew one person in Huntington Beach, and I am married to that person now. That is my wife, Dominique. But my wife works for UPS, and she has for many years. So I really relied heavily on her SOI. And over the years, I sold a lot of houses to people that work for UPS because I went to every UPS event that I could possibly go to just to meet people and get to build my SOI in the area. If you go to church, people from your church are prospects. Yes, I'm giving you permission to prospect at church. Don't go to church for prospects, but you certainly, everybody that you go to church with is a prospect. I will be honest, I write off my mileage to and from church. So it's okay that IRS allows that. I'm not a CPA, I'm not giving tax advice, but talk to your accountant. All your mileage, everywhere you go, guys, everybody's a prospect, but these people should be in your SOI bucket as well. And the professional services you use, your CPA, your dentist, your attorney, your dry cleaners, your favorite lunch spot owner, all of these people should know that you sell real estate. I know that in our office, I always kind of joke, there's a poke bowl place across the street from our office, and they know Cabot in there. And so when I go in there, I know that they ask me about Cabot, who is an agent in our office on the Lily Campbell team. And they always think of him in real estate because he's always talking about real estate, and it drives me crazy that they ask me about him, but that's a whole nother story. But these people should be thinking of you and not just you thinking about them when you need something done, right? How do we engage with those people? Expanding your SOI and some ideas behind that. And this is some basic 101 stuff, guys. Some of you guys might already do this, but we'll get to some of the other ideas and some of the other things to follow up on this. But consider these following activities to expand that SOI. Get involved in a nonprofit. This has actually been a really big one over the years for me. My wife and I are part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that has generated referral business and recognition. Really, we're so happy and grateful to be able to do it, but we've built a lot of connections through that nonprofit. And we've been a part of the organization for about 5 years. And it was one of our agents in the Seacliff office went to Mexico for a big fundraising event. And there was it was kind of just that they do it every year. I think it was called Stars and Stripes, if anybody's familiar with that, but they do it in Cabo, I believe. And so our agents are in Cabo, Tim and Karen Branoff. They do a lot with volunteering and getting involved in nonprofits. And they were in Cabo and they're going through the magazine for the event. And they open it up and there's a picture of my wife and I with our little brother, Ethan, and a sponsorship for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I had no idea we were going to be in the magazine, but we've done a lot with that organization and getting involved. So here we are in a magazine in Cabo for another fundraising event that just was branding over the years. So getting involved in a nonprofit can have a lot of personal reward to it, but it also can be impactful in the community that reaches out and helps people. So I really am a big believer in that one. You can become active or join a local church, mosque, synagogue. Those are, like-minded people. So I recommend highly getting involved with that. Be social. That's what real estate's all about. This is a relationship business. Your SOI is all about building and nurturing those relationships. So, there's the Lions clubs, the Elks Lodge, Rotary, Yacht Club, American Legion, country clubs. It's really interesting when I thought about the country club or golf country club situation when going through this, and I thought about how many agents I know that will send out 2,000 postcards one time to a farm area because they just took a listing in that neighborhood or something, and they're trying to get additional business in that neighborhood, right? So they're like, oh, I just got this great listing. I want to show it off. I'm going to mail 2,000 postcards, and I've never mailed to any of these people before. Just so you guys know, from a marketing standpoint, you have to send your message 5 to 7 times before you have brand recognition. So unless you're sending 5 to 7 postcards pretty frequently, you're not going to have brand recognition. So I know that a lot of us spend all that money to do the postcards in hopes of getting another listing in the neighborhood. You'll probably have more success doing a grand open house in the neighborhood and door knocking with open house invites than you would be to mailing 2,000 postcards. That's a whole nother training session. But so I went back and I went on to Lucid Press. I did a jumbo postcard for 2,000 homes. It would cost you $1,516 to send 2,000 postcards. If we all know the price of a stamp went up, a first class stamp went up to 60 cents recently. I don't remember what the bulk rate went up to, but it also went up. So $1,516 to send 2,000 postcards one time. You have about a 1 second impression with that postcard to get their attention. Most country clubs that I am aware of are less than $1,500 a month. I know some of them have bigger buy-ins, but there are social clubs out there. There are golf clubs that have, smaller few $1,000 buy-ins with $500-600 monthly membership fees. There are other social clubs out there. I know in Huntington Beach, we have a new one called Hot Rods and Handguns. So if you're big into cars and you're big into guns, there's a social club now that you could join. It's a beautiful building. And, if that's your thing, then you could join that for, I think, like $400 or $500 a month. Cheaper than one postcard. And you're going to get way more out of it if you frequent that, because you're meeting with like-minded people. So join social clubs that you're interested in, that you're attracted to, because other people will be in there that are like-minded. Volunteer in your community. Really believe in that one too. There's always volunteer opportunities. Join the local Chamber of Commerce. Attend the mixers. I did that years ago. Did a lot of Chamber of Commerce stuff for Huntington Beach. You meet a lot of business owners doing that, and a lot of influence in the community. So it's always a really good one to join, this Chamber of Commerce. As simple as becoming a regular at a local coffee shop. I know in my neighborhood, I live in downtown Huntington Beach. There's an amazing little coffee spot at 11th on 11th Street called the HB Corner Market. And I can tell you the same 150 people go there all the time, all the same neighbors. I see every time I go there, I run into somebody I know from the neighborhood. Do more open houses. It's a great way to build your SOI. It's a great way to meet people that are interested in real estate. And you truly can become friends with these people if you don't just try to solicit them nonstop. Get to know them, get to know what their interests are, know those favorite restaurants and local spots in the area, and make recommendations on that type of stuff. But the good news for everybody is we're getting into a situation. Yesterday, we crossed the threshold of 4,000 active properties for sale in Orange County. It's the first time we've been there in a couple of years. So we're getting more into this balanced market, still a slight seller's market, but we're getting into this balanced market. That means 4,000 listings. That means there will be more open house opportunities. This is a great, great tool to meet people and build that SOI. If you do it more in the same neighborhood, the same area, you'll start to get brand recognition with the other sellers in the neighborhood. And then you can start converting those people to the SOI bucket as well. That is a long-term play, but you will get them into the SOI bucket eventually. And you'll have really great opportunities to get ambassadors in those neighborhoods. It happened to me this week, guys. I was walking my dog down the street and we're talking to one of our neighbors a couple blocks over that she is the neighborhood ambassador. She knows everybody. She's friends with everybody. She just, she loves to talk to everybody when she goes on walks. We, of course, always talk to her and say hi to her. She told me about one of the other neighbors thinking about selling. So had the opportunity to refer a listing. I think Mary Ann's on this call to refer a listing presentation opportunity to one of our agents in the Seacliff office yesterday. Just because I walked my dog through the neighborhood and had a neighborhood ambassador and this woman that likes to talk to everybody. I didn't even know these people were thinking about selling, but of course she did. And she referred us to them. So that was a good opportunity and just being a part of the community. Local city council city council meetings. I know this may be like nails on a chalkboard and they're kind of tough to go to. A lot of this stuff I've done, so I know that it works. I've been to it. I would recommend getting involved in your community. You want to make a difference or make a change in where you live, get involved. Local city council meetings. You will meet people there, and I promise you the same people attend those things every month. You can get to know them. I've done it. Not as fun. I don't necessarily like to get involved in the politics stuff that much, but it is good to know what's going on in your community. It's not always all bad. There is some good things that happen out of those things too. Something that I really kind of one takeaway for any of you, if you wanted to grow your SOI and you wanted to sell more houses, for 1 year, commit to saying yes. And again, something that I've done personally, and it was very difficult to do. I was extremely tired all the time because I literally said yes to everything I got invited to. Birthday parties, baby showers, retirement parties, baseball games, whatever it was. I wasn't going to find an excuse to say no to somebody because I needed to sell. I did this back in like 2009, 10, 11. Really the committed to saying yes, I think I did in 2011. It was either 2010 or 2011. But it turned out 2012 was one of my biggest years ever for me personally in my career. Or at least at that time in my early career, sold like 27 houses in 2012. And that really was because I had committed to saying yes to everything else. It took a year and a half, 2 years to really nurture that relationship. But there was a lot of reward in saying yes to the social.
Because Jeremiah, again, you froze. Everybody else is on, right? You can hear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Something's going on.
Yep.
You'll be right back in. So I apologize for that. There he comes. He'll be right back in.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's 2 times. 3 strikes, you're out.
I'm sorry, guys. Do this again. It's the internet here at the HB South office. We need to get Jim Loges on it. Just going to get into share follow-up and engagement. My apologies.
It's back on. You're good.
Okay. So getting involved in your SOI, being top of mind is really what it's all about. If you're not top of mind, they're not going to call you. And that's the hard truth of the matter. I had some agents sit down with me this week and we're like, we've sold, I think it was like 4 houses to these people, and they just listed with a neighborhood farmer. And this neighborhood farmer has been in the mailbox. I live in one of her farms, this other farmer, and she's in the mailbox every single week. And these was a really good client of our agent, and they listed with somebody else. And when it came down to it, they really hadn't been in touch for several months. It was beyond 6 months. So if you're not in touch with your SOI, if you're not top of mind, they're not going to think of you, and they're going to call the neighborhood farmer. And I know that a lot of us, when we farm, we look for neighborhoods that are turning over like 3-4%, right? But if there was a neighborhood that had 10 to 15% turnover every year, would we make an effort to go after that neighborhood, door knock that neighborhood, talk to people in that neighborhood, send postcards to that neighborhood? I think it's safe to say that everybody would be all over a neighborhood that turned over 10 to 15% a year. And truthfully, your SOI does that. They know somebody, they had a coworker, they had a friend, relative that sold a house last year. I did the math on transactions, guys. Like I told you earlier, roughly 32,000 sales in Orange County last year was a record number. We're not going to see those kind of numbers again this year or for years to come, in my opinion. But 32,000 sales, 64,000 transactions, and there's 39 million or 3.9 million people that live in Orange County. That's basically one transaction for like every 69 people. So everybody knew somebody that sold a house last year. And I guarantee the people that you know, I know that we all have in our own neighborhoods that we live, we've seen other people's for sale signs go up. Why didn't they think of you when they wanted to put their house on the market? So you need to treat your SOI like a farm area. Truly, truly do. If you neglect your relationships with them, they will call the local farmer to list their homes if you aren't following up with them. Okay. So really, I want you to take the mindset of your SOI just like a farm, right? And a lot of us are just waiting for the phone call. And I know you think people will call you because you have a real estate license, but truthfully, they won't. And sometimes people forget, right? They forget that you are still active in real estate. Sometimes, especially during the COVID transition, of life, that a lot of us didn't stay in touch with the people or see the people that we saw on a regular basis for a long time just because of COVID, and it just changed life. It's a great time to follow up with these people and see how they're doing, because you have to be top of mind. And most importantly, you have to ask for the business. If you're not asking for the business, they're not going to give it to you. Those that ask for more get more. So one question, so a lot of the feedback I get in this, or a lot of the questions I get in this is like, well, what do I call and say to people? I haven't talked to them in 2 years, right? Well, just call and say hello and check up first. Be human. Don't be a solicitor. Don't be an advertiser. Just be a human. See how they're doing. See how work's going. See how their family's going. See how they're doing personally, right? It's really simple just to have a conversation with somebody. But those people maybe that you're engaging with, or you want to re-engage with, one of my favorite questions, and I tell a lot of our agents, and I know some of my agents in Huntington Beach have done this. I'm going to call this an SOI experiment. Call, and you can reach out to, start with the people that are closest to you, but call your SOI and ask them this one question. And it's a silly question, and it'll probably get some smiles and giggles when you ask it from them, but it does a couple of things. So the question is, if you were to refer a realtor to a friend, who would you refer? Yes, I want you to call your SOI and ask that question. Again, it may sound silly, but it has multiple purposes, this question. One, it will make you top of mind. That's the whole point of reaching out to our SOI, that we're top of mind, right? If they know you, they know you're a realtor. If they don't know you're a realtor, you better tell them quickly, right? Being a realtor is the only profession that I know, when you tell a complete stranger that you're a real estate agent or you're a realtor, the very first question they ask 99.9% of the time is, how's the market doing? Right? That's probably the most common question. You could just walk around town telling everybody, introducing yourself, asking them what they do. They ask you what you do, and you say, I'm a realtor. They actually want to talk about what you do for a living, guys. They want to talk about it. People are interested in real estate. People love houses. People want to know what's going on with the market. You have to have an answer to that question. But this question to your SOI, if you were to refer a realtor to a friend, who would you refer? Again, it'll make you top of mind. It'll probably get a chuckle or a laugh out of them, because of course they're going to say you, right? Because they know you're a realtor and you're their friend and you're calling them. What that just did, though, was that they now gave you a verbal commitment. If they refer a real estate agent, or if somebody asks them about real estate, they've just committed to you, right? So not only have you made yourself top of mind, you've got a commitment from your friend for referrals. Now you have to do this every so often and remind them that you're there still. You can't just do this once and done, but it's just a good break the ice kind of silly question that actually has a lot of purpose behind it. So doing SOI marketing and making SOI phone calls in the beginning might be a little bit uncomfortable, especially if there's people that you haven't spoken to in years, okay? I'd really say to get in a rhythm, and something that we've implemented recently is call hours at our office. It's kind of old school. We've done 2 of them now, but it is going to become part of our weekly routine at our offices, where people can come together, because you can feed off of that energy. I highly recommend all of you go to your managers and ask to set up a call hour, because when multiple people are doing it, you feel the energy. I was involved in the first one and making calls. It felt good to have that energy and have other people having real estate conversations with their friends and clients. But really, to get in that rhythm, start calling the people that are closest to you first, right? Break the ice with the people that know you, and then move on more to the cursory associations of people that don't know you as well, and talking, right? The people that know you the most, that are closest to you, invite them out to lunch or coffee. And it doesn't have to be about real estate initially. right? You're just there as a reminder. You're catching up as a friend, as a loved one, whatever it is. Invite them out to lunch or coffee just to catch up. If you're looking to do a business immediately, call anyone that you sold a house to a year plus ago. I was looking at the numbers in Huntington Beach yesterday, and in Huntington Beach, specifically the zip code where I live at 92648, the home prices went up 20.7%, 20.7% over the last 12 months. That is actually a nationwide statistic as well. Nationwide, home prices went up 20% over the last year. I bet it's the same in your neighborhood and most of the areas that you guys serve. So anybody that sold a house, or you sold a house to, or helped represent a buy side on, they've made 20% in equity. That's probably realistic with most everybody you sold a house to. Give them a call and give them an update. Who doesn't want to know that $1 million house they bought is now worth 1.2 million, right? You have a bunch of equity in your house. It's an easy phone call to make, and it's a welcomed phone call, truthfully. So anybody who sold a house to a year plus ago, if you've been in this business for 5, 6, 7 years or longer, I would really start calling the people that you sold a house to 3+ years ago, if they're still living in that house, and give them an update, because those numbers are staggering what's happened over the last 3 years. In addition to that, try doing a video CMA a day. Video CMA a day. I've taught on this. We have training videos recorded on this. If you don't know how to find them, shoot us a chat later or just reach out. But video CMAs work, guys. They get viewed. If you did one a day to everybody you sold a house to, you're going to get business. I did one as a sample, just as an educational piece for agents. And 11 months after I did that video, they called me and asked me to sell it. I logged into my BombBomb account. My clients had watched that video like, I don't know, it was like 13, 14 times, whatever. It might've been 20 times, but you can track those things and they get to watch those videos on their own time. And 11 months after I did the video, just as a training, it was a friend, past client that I'd done multiple transactions when I was an active realtor, active agent. And they called me up and like, hey, we're moving to Florida. So it was totally unexpected because they have a kid in high school that went to Huntington Beach High, never thought they would leave, but they moved. So the video CMA a day is successful. It works. I know other agents in the company are doing it and having success with it. It's really a great tool to touch base with that SOI. Most of the people you know have property, right? So send them that video CMA. Your social media feeds. Guys, we post everything on social media, all life events, our promotions, our engagements, our weddings, our divorces, our loss of loved ones. You really go through your social media feeds and look for these life events, right? And instead of stalking people with a like, love, care, or laugh, and then simply scrolling on, give them a phone call. Like if somebody posts on LinkedIn that they got a new position, call them and tell them congratulations, touch base with them. Guess what happens when people move for jobs? They typically get promotions, right? Or they move their job because we're making more money. So if they're making more money, maybe it's time for a new house, right? I'm sure these thoughts have crossed their mind when they start making more money. So it's really a good one. If you just wanted to start with a job promotion, go on LinkedIn and start looking at your network that has changed positions over the last year or so, and just tell them congratulations. But be on top of that. Don't just like it. Give them a phone call, because nobody else is doing that, right? If you made 2 phone calls a day, 5 times a week, I'm giving you the weekend off so you can do your open houses. But if you made 2 phone calls a day, 5 times a week, that'd be 520 contacts a year. I guarantee if you did that, you would sell more houses. There's no doubt in my mind that you would. Some marketing ideas for you guys, okay? Nothing beats a phone call, really, except a meeting in person. Meeting in person is, you can see people's facial expressions. That's why we ask you to join video on Zoom, because you can get that interaction. But nothing beats a phone call except a meeting in person. And if you need an excuse to call, you can get a twofer and enhance the call with an invitation to meet in person. And if you don't want to do the one-on-one, do an event. We do a lot of events here at our office. We do, we pretty much do quarterly events here in Huntington Beach that we put on, but there's tons of things that you can do put on a past client appreciation event. You could do this annually. You could do this quarterly. At the end of the year, just everybody that has given you business or entrusted you to help them with the biggest transaction they'll probably ever make, throw on an appreciation event, do a wine and cheese thing. I know that in Costa Mesa, there's a place called the Wine Lab. I've rented that out in the past. They have like projector screens. And so I put up like all the houses that I had sold and invited all my past clients. And like, I think that at one event, we had like 100 people show up, and yeah, it cost me like $5 or $6 grand, but I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling real estate to those people. So the $5 or $6 grand investment back and getting together, they all talked about their houses being sold. They all saw their houses when they first bought it, going through the projection screen, and everybody got to have some good wine and cheese. And I had a guitar player there. So these past client appreciation events are huge. It gets people talking about you. People remember you. Another great idea, guys, and this is something I just did recently in Huntington Beach. I just rented out a theater at the Cinemark in Bellaterra. It cost me $204 to have 30 people watch Top Gun Maverick. And there's some people on this call that were probably there at the movie theater. We had a great time. It was a great movie, and it only cost me $204 to have 30 of our agents go to the movies. You can do these types of things with your clients, with your SOI, with your farms, especially with your SOI. Invite them out. A movie on you, right? Nothing like sending a card or doing a special invite to go watch a movie. You can do this for up to 100 people. The prices vary depending on your theater. There's AMC has packages, Cinemark has packages. This is just a great opportunity to get people together that doesn't cost a lot of money, right? And you're going to have them captured in a room. You can talk to them before if you wanted to kind of make an announcement or something like that. But you can do rent out stuff at the movie theater, or rent out theaters for pretty inexpensive. A community picnic in the park, BYOF&B, bring your own food and beverage. I mean, nothing, you could do a park or picnic at the park, and you have like the giant Jenga and the giant Connect 4 and cornhole, and you could just bring all that out, set it up. People are going to come out. It's something great to do on a Saturday afternoon, but invite them. And you don't have to pay for food for them. I think we get in this mindset that we always have to give somebody something. Sometimes people just like to get together and socialize, right? So you supply the games and prizes. Maybe you do a cornhole tournament. Maybe you do some other stuff or prizes, giveaways just for coming out, some little things, but it's a great way to get people together. I know that here in about 10 days, thanks to the Anaheim Hills office, and Terry Cargus and the team up there. I think there's a couple hundred people going to the Angels game. This was a brilliant idea. Anaheim Hills has been doing it for a long time, but you can buy group tickets for Angels games. I'm really looking forward. I'm taking my wife to this, and our little brother, Ethan, from Big Brothers Big Sisters, is going to come with us. We're going to do the tailgate. We're going to go to the game. Apparently they're doing fireworks after the game, but really looking forward to that. That's a large group thing. I mean, you could buy tickets for, I think the tickets were like $18 a piece or something. But if you invited 20 of your closest past clients or closest SOI to a game, it's not going to cost you a lot. And you could do something fun with that. Or when Anaheim Hills does this, reach out to Terry and see if you can be a part of it as well. I know some of our agents are bringing clients to this event. So really looking forward to that. Community shred events are always really success. We do 2 a year in Huntington Beach. There's always a ton of people that come out. It's a great way to give back to the neighborhood, give back to the community for them and help them get rid of some old paper and electronics. Seasonal community events are always great at the office. I have I want to show you just because I've killed you guys with so much content, and I'm sorry about that, but it's just It's a lot to really talk about. This probably could have been a 2-part training session in my mind, because I still want to show you some KV Core stuff. I'm going to get through this as quickly as possible. But I want to show you this just because you can capture these events on video. This one's only 1:39. So I'm going to, can you hear that, Greg?
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay. So this is something we did last year. We will do this again this year. We did it at the office. That's me in the Stay Puft outfit. This was really low cost. A lot of agents from the office got involved. And man, the community loved it. Absolutely loved it. We had an amazing turnout for this. And it wasn't, I mean, this doesn't cost a lot of money. This is pretty simple. We roped off our parking lot, as you can see there. We had a fire truck come. We had a classic car there. And some people had some really cool stuff. But now we can use this video over and over again, right, to promote it next year, what fun we have in the community. Really a good time. And it went into the evening. There's the fire truck. And we had the smoke machine at night. Just a fun time. And this stuff can be leveraged. Part of doing this SOI stuff and the events is leveraging it. Go back to there. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. But those events, and take advantage of those events when you do them, okay? With like the video recording. That to record that video, I think it cost me like $300, maybe $275 to film that trunk or treat event. We have a great videographer that does all of our shred events. We do Santa Day at the office that all gets recorded. Those are great opportunities to invite your SOI to come out and be a part of something. But so treat your SOI like a farm, right? Every time you take a listing or you do something that you would normally market to strangers, I really believe marketing into the people that you know the best, that already know you. It costs to generate a new lead versus somebody you're always working with. It costs 7 times the amount of money to generate a brand new lead instead of working with a client that you already have, right? So we always are constantly advertising, marketing, doing mailers to strangers when we really should also be doing these mailers to the people that we know. So your just listed in escrows or just sold postcards, include them. Send weekly handwritten notes. One of our most successful agents, Joanne Hawley Burstraight, every single day without fail, she sends 5 to 10 handwritten postcards. Guys, she's already sold 30 million this year. Already done 30 million. She's been doing the handwritten postcards daily for years and, a couple of decades, truthfully. And she does that and sends it out. And she always does a birthday card, whatever it is, the house anniversary card, the birthday card. She always writes a little note in there. She follows up with her farm with that. She sends it to her SOI. The handwritten notes are big. Mailing a note and asking for referral, I think, is also really big. I would include 3 business cards and a Starbucks gift card. Now, I would do this to your closest, the people that know you the best, right? The friends, family. They may not be buying or selling a house right now. And I've done this over the years many times. I always get thank yous out of it. It always kept me top of mind with them. And they had a coffee on me, right? So if you send this to 50 people that are closest to you and put 3 of your business cards and you ask, hey, if there's somebody at work or in the neighborhood thinking about buying or selling, it'd be great if you could refer me. And for that referral, here's a coffee on me. It's a really simple note, but keeps you top of mind. Another thing that I did for years with the SOI, the American Lifestyle magazines. A lot of you have probably heard of this. It's a great bi-monthly magazine that goes out. There's advertising opportunities that you can do in the inside back cover, inside front cover, and back of the magazine. Put all of your SOI on that mailing list, and every other month they're going to get something from you. It's really well put together. Hosting the quarterly events should 100% do. If not, at a minimum, do 1 annual event for your SOI or past client appreciation. Your past client appreciation, you can also invite your friends and your other SOI members too, right? Because you want them commingling, your past clients and your SOI, because your past clients are going to talk about how great you were. You know, if they're showing up to your event, they appreciate you, they're thankful that you've helped them, they're going to be commingling with your friends and family or past coworkers or whatever it is, and they're going to be talking about it. It's just let them, it's called word of mouth, right? Word of mouth marketing. It's one of the strongest ways we can market. So if you do these events and get these people together, they will talk and you will be top of mind. Or you can just call them and say hello, right? Don't forget that part of it. Don't expect them to give you business if you're not nurturing a relationship with them. And weekly and monthly email campaigns. And really, this is my last slide, I promise. And I'm going to show you a couple quick things with KV Core that are really, really easy to do, but you can make a lot of this follow-up easy, and you can let your CRM, KV Core, whatever, a lot of these CRMs offer this kind of stuff. I highly recommend KV Core. If you wanted to get it on your own, it's $600 a month, and we give it to you for free. So why not use it? I think it's unfortunate that we give it to you for free. I'm sorry for saying that, but because a lot of us don't see the value in it because we're not paying for it. I personally used to pay for KV Core before Cam and corporate rolled it out to all of our agents, and I paid $600 a month for it. And I've represented many buyers and have gotten listings through the automation of KV Core, but I had to engage also in that system. So what I'm saying about your CRM and using it, just take that first step. Don't fight it. Really build a foundation that will pay dividends for years to come. Like I said, stop fighting it. I know some of you are like, I don't want to do a CRM. I don't know where to start. Technology's beyond me. Just stop fighting it. Think of it this way. We used to have, I could have gone back a little bit further, but the rotary phone, remember when the rotary phone, at least for me, when it went from rotary phone to the push button phone, that was really exciting. But then when it went from the push button phone to a cordless phone, oh my God, you could walk more than 5 feet away from the phone. I don't know if any of you, like when you were kids or younger, and you had that like 15-foot long phone cord, and you could walk around the kitchen or living room or whatever it was. And then we went to cordless, and how awesome was that? Then we had car phones, the original car phone. You could make calls from your car. And then you became more mobile. We had the flip phones, right? That you could put in your pocket. Then there was a season of phones getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then now, today, you can control the world from the palm of your hand. And the reason I put all of this up, because I get so many people that say, I don't understand technology. Well, guess what? You've already adapted to technology in every aspect of your life. Now it's time to adapt to the AI and tech side of things to engage with your SOI, right? I guarantee you're already streaming, you're already using your iPhones, Androids, whatever it may be. You've already adapted to technology. Just adapt to it on the real estate side. So I want to show you a little bit of that technology, then we'll be done. So KV Core. When you log into KV Core, it will most likely be your first team email. If you don't know your password, just click on forgot password and you'll be sent a new one. I highly, highly recommend, if you haven't logged into KV Core for a while, do it, because I could almost for certain Google any one of your names. And when I Google your names, your first team website will come up in the Google search, and it'll probably be at the top of that Google search for your name. So that's how Google is interacting with you. Your first team website is how most people see you. When you log in, you're going to get the dashboard. And guys, I don't actively market or solicit anything. These people that are in my dashboard, I had somebody look at a house 13 hours ago. A day ago. This is obviously me. I was preparing and looking at some of the market reports, but these are all people from years ago that clicked on Facebook ads that I used to run on a regular basis, like daily. I had ads running via Facebook through and getting people to re-engage into my website, or getting people to engage into my website, which was the KV Core website. Right. So I have a bunch of activity. If I had to go out and sell 10 houses by the end of the year, if I was just a realtor and not a manager, I would start right here in my dashboard. And I'm 100% confident that I could sell 10 houses by the end of the year just by engaging in this dashboard. because I have people looking on there, that the system keeps nurturing. I don't do any nurturing of the system. The system is sending these emails. It's automated. It's sending them hey, I saw that you clicked on this property. Would you like more information? It's sending them text messages. Saw that you were looking for property. You have to be aware of what it's doing, but how we utilize this from an SOI standpoint, I'm just going to pull up myself. I have myself as a lead in here, if it'll go. So let me just pull me up. So I'm going to make your life really easy and give you touch points that will keep you in touch with your SOI on a regular basis. Okay. So this is just me. I have me in here as a sample so I can see all the things that get done. You can see here today that I've even received an email on properties. I was sent a couple of days ago, or excuse me, that was a few days ago. That same day, I got a market area update. So what you can do, guys, when you're in somebody, if you have their telephone and email address, or at minimum their email address, if they're your SOI, you should have their phone number and their email address. When you put them into your system, you're going to start here, okay? And you're going to start with the hashtags, and this will automate this process for you. So you can do hashtag wire. You just go in here and type wire. You don't put the hashtag when you add these things, okay, guys? But just you put wire, type wire, hit enter. The wire is the First Team newsletter that goes out the first week of the month, okay? And then you're going to do OC, you can do market update, market report, OC market report. There's a couple of different things. Market update, there's market report, that you can put these hashtags in here. If they don't live in the OC, you can do other areas as well, or just do market update. That is a market update that goes out the second week of the month. Okay. And then our brand new, beautiful luxury detail. It's our luxury newsletter that the marketing department worked very hard on. It looks amazing. It's stunning. It's about a luxury lifestyle. It's called The Detail. So then you add the detail. There's like 3 different hashtags on that. The only one I remember is The Detail because that's the name of the newsletter. But if you just do the detail, that goes out the third week of the month. Okay. And then you can see here, I've also indicated that I'm part of my SOI. That is a label that I've created for myself. So if I go back and filter my leads in my database and put SOI, filter it by that hashtag, everybody that is part of my SOI will show up underneath that hashtag so I can keep track of it. Okay. The other thing to do, in addition to those 3, so that 3 right there, just automated 3 emails a month to your SOI by doing those 3 hashtags. You never have to do anything ever again with that as far as getting in the inbox. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to email people too much. Guys, it's okay. It's okay to bombard people with email. If they don't like it, they'll unsubscribe it. I know that I have gone on to Zillow before, right? Zillow emails me like 2 or 3 times a day. And if you're a lead in the Zillow system, you know what I'm talking about. I get market updates, market reports from Zillow. I get new listings, properties they think I'm interested in, probably on a daily basis. You are not emailing them too much if you send them 3 emails a month. You may not be emailing them enough, but this is automation that you don't have to think about. Your SOI will get these emails and get these updates just by doing this. The other thing to do here is to go into profile details. So that's when you're on a lead, click on profile details. This is going to make your life so much easier in remembering things or staying in touch with your SOI. You click on edit details and it opens up all these fields. Now you've sold them a house in the past, or you know their address. It's a friend, it's a family member, whatever. It's your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousin. It doesn't matter. You know their home address. Put their home address in here. They will start getting valuation reports monthly based on that home address. You don't have to do anything. They will be sent a nice evaluation report. I think it's like 3 pages long. And it comes monthly as a monthly update. It talks about what's happening in that zip code, what prices are doing, how many houses have sold, and it's like a short CMA that you don't have to create. It does it for them. Now, I will say, guys, because a lot of the complaint that I get on this stuff is like, oh, well, it's not right. It doesn't matter if it's right. It's an algorithm. The computer doesn't know their neighborhood like you know their neighborhood. Yeah, it's not right. Call them. Just, are they getting their updated valuation reports? You can touch base. You can say that, hey, I know that it may not be accurate. They don't know that you remodeled your kitchen 6 months ago like I do, so don't worry about it. Here's an updated one, right? Like, it doesn't matter that if it's not 100% accurate. That's why you have a job. If it was 100% accurate, Zillow would have taken over the world with the iBuyer program instead of losing $830 or $880 million and shutting the iBuyer program down. Algorithms don't know neighborhoods like we know neighborhoods. That's why we can be secure in having a job, because we know more than the computer knows. Computers don't know the remodel, unless they start tapping into all of our Alexa camera devices in our house and seeing what we've done to it. They don't know what's going on with the neighborhood, what the house looks like, renovations done, or what drives buyers in that neighborhood. They don't know. They're looking at bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and numbers. So there's a human element that is never going to go away. So put their address in this valuation. The other thing that you can do is you put a birthday in here. So my birthday, so now you all know, I expect a birthday card from everybody now. If I put a birthday in here and click on that little toggle switch, it will now send an email and a text on your clients, past clients, SOI's birthday. You don't even have to think about it. You didn't check Facebook that day and you didn't get the Facebook reminder that was the birthday. I did that the other day, totally missed somebody's birthday because I didn't log into Facebook. That's the only reason I check Facebook these days, is to make sure I'm getting everybody's birthday. But this will send an email and a text on your behalf. You can actually do this for the spouse as well and put the spouse's birthday in here. Another really great thing you can do when you sell a house, update this profile, for a past client. When did you close escrow on that house? This is when I bought my house. So I have this date in here. So every September 18th, I receive an anniversary email or text saying it's a happy house anniversary email or text. So now you've automated in a few simple clicks the birthday follow-up, the house anniversary follow-up, a market report update, the home evaluation update, and newsletters, the luxury newsletter and the First Team newsletter, that are actually really well put together that you don't have to worry about creating content for, right? So this is a super, super easy way to automate the follow-up with your SOI, but you have to take the initiative to start making the phone calls and doing it. I guaranteed if you made those 520 contacts, your business would increase dramatically. Even in a shrinking sales market where we have fewer home sales, it's still really good. We're still going to have a lot of sales this year, guys. So if you have any questions, I'll wrap that up now and I'll stop sharing my screen.
All right, Jeremiah, we did have, let's see here. Is there one for week 4? Brenda asked. So we got Wire Plus. What other 2 hashtags are there besides Wire? Are you aware?
I think one of them's luxury. The one that, if you use the detail, that is it sends the same thing. I don't remember what the other 2 are. I have them written down somewhere, but I just know the detail, but the hashtags send the exact same 3. I don't know if you know them, Greg, or Terry, if you know them. I don't remember them, or if somebody from marketing is on.
Hey guys, I'll chime in, Greg. You could get the SoCal market updates. Those are hashtags that you could do as well.
Yeah.
And I know under marketing, under first place, if you go to marketing, and then you look in the posts, there is going to be a recent post with all the different hashtags, etc.
Somebody just chatted to show the screen with the hashtags again. These are the 4 that I use for SOI: Wire, OC Market Report. My SOI is all in Orange County, but Wire, OC Market Report, SOI, and the detail. SOI is a personal one that doesn't do anything other than allows me to filter out my SOI.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sure. So as a newer agent, I just started back in April. And so at the beginning of your presentation, you were talking about connecting with businesses, or again, my wife is an accountant, so I have a lot of access to individuals. And I was like, hey, babe, how do I meet some of the people you know and talk to them? And a reasonable rebuttal she said to my face was, why don't you do a transaction first? And like, I totally get it. I'm that guy too, of like, who am I talking to? Why should I care what you say? And so can I have some beginner tips of how to break through the walls of I don't have enough under my belt to know what I'm talking about kind of thing?
Yeah, as a new agent, you really have to kill people with knowledge, right? And you have to be smarter than Google. So I'm sorry to say that, but you have to know the market. You have
That's
to
fine.
go preview homes. You have to know the average sales price in your neighborhood. Go visit open houses during the weekend. You can overcome that objection with market knowledge, right? If somebody sees that you know what you're doing, they're going to trust you. It's a trust factor, right? And your wife doesn't want to entrust you yet with her clients that generate, I'm sure, revenue for your family, but she wants you to get that experience and knowledge before she hands you off to people that pay her to do a job. So go out there.
Yeah, like we're totally on the same page. It's not like hurting my feelings. It's more of just like, you're not going to get a second shot to intro yourself. So you only get, get prepared. So yeah, keep going. I like it. Thank you.
Open houses are going to be kind of a great way to cut your teeth and getting that experience and that knowledge and working with people. But really do the previewing, go on Broker Preview, go on Office Caravan if your office does that, and go out there and preview. I'd preview 3 to 5 houses a day. And you will know the market better than any seasoned agent. I promise you, if you go out and start previewing and you look for the good buys in every neighborhood, and this goes for everybody, we used to have a thing called hot buys, has been absolutely obsolete over the last 2 years. It will start coming back again because there's shifts and changes in every market. But if you started finding the good buys in your area and having that knowledge that you can share with people, they'll start listening. So find good buys in your area.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Jeremiah? That was great, Jeremiah. And before, if there's no other questions before, say, Steve Osborne, are you still on? Or is he just listening?
Yes, I am.
There's Steve. Hey, let's announce next week's training on what you're going to be teaching.
Well, we're going to be talking about how to save time, become more efficient, so you have more time to spend with your clients by becoming paperless. So we're going to show you how to shed some of the duties that you've been doing and gotten used to and are no longer needed.
Outstanding. Steve did a Wednesday training, prior, and I think it was maybe a year ago or plus, and did a fantastic job. And he's going to dive deeper and going paperless in today's world. So it's going to be definitely a training worth attending. With that said, thank you so much, Jeremiah. You're a rock star. We really appreciate you. Thank you for giving your time, back here and helping everybody, out and doing this training today. We appreciate everybody being part of First Team Real Estate, being part of the training today. I'll send this over so we can get the recording up, today once it comes in. And we appreciate all of you. All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. It's a great day to sell a house.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.